All right, so we're going to talk about rhythms today. Learning how to count and read our rhythms is the first step to starting our recorder music, because we have to be able to read the music before we can play the recorder, just like you have to know how to read a chapter book. Okay, it's the same thing. We read music to play our recorder. With me? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so we have different kinds of notes that we see in our music, and that's what makes up our rhythm. So a rhythm is a pattern of beats based on a pattern of different types of notes put together. Okay? We also have this thing called a steady beat, and it does have to do with our rhythm, but it never changes. So our rhythm is a pattern, it can change. Our steady beat does not change. It doesn't speed up, it doesn't slow down. It stays the same through the entire song. Okay? So our steady beat is 1, 2, 3, 4. Silently tap your foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. It doesn't speed up. It doesn't slow down. It's called a steady beat because it keeps a steady speed, which is called tempo. Tempo equals speed. Repeat, tempo equals speed.
Tempo equals speed.
Very good. Steady beat stays the same. Repeat, steady beat stays the same.
Steady beat stays the same.
Rhythm is a pattern of beats.
Rhythm is a pattern of beats.
Very good. Okay, so when we are looking at rhythm, again, rhythm is a pattern of beats, and we achieve that pattern by combining different notes. Okay, so some notes are longer than others. They have more beats. That's their value. So their value is how many beats they have. Some of our notes have 4 beats. Some of our notes have 2 beats. Some of our notes have 1 beat. Okay, are you with me so far?
Yes.
Give me a thumbs up if you're with me. Okay, before we go any further, I want to talk to you about money. Money. So, first thing of money that I want to talk to you about is our dollar. We're going to start with $1 bill, a whole dollar. Okay? Yes? We're going to call this our whole dollar. Yes? Yes. If we break our whole dollar into halves, what do we have? 50 cents. Now, have you ever seen the 50-cent coins?
Yes.
Yeah, they're these really cool, they're like big, they're bigger than quarters. They're these coins that are really big, and they're also called half dollars. Okay, so we have our whole dollar here, and then we have our half dollars here, and they're called half dollars because each one is a half of a whole dollar. You with me? Okay, then what happens when we break our 50 cents in half?
You get 25.
You get 25 cents, and what's another name for a 25-cent coin? A quarter. We call them quarters because each one, we call them quarters because each coin is a quarter of a dollar. So another word for 1/4 is a quarter. You with me so far?
Yes.
Yes. We call these our quarter dollars. Now my next question is, are you seated? Okay, my next question is, how many quarters go into a dollar?
4.
4 quarters. Okay, how many quarters go into a half dollar? 2. Here's kind of a trick question. How many quarters are in a quarter?
2.
2. If you have 1 quarter, how many quarters do you have? 1. If you have 1 quarter, you have a quarter. You have 1. So there is 1 quarter in a quarter. It's kind of a trick question. Do we need a moment outside?
No.
Okay, now what I want you to think of is a quarter equals a beat. 1/4 equals a beat. Okay? So we're going to switch over to notes now. Our whole our whole dollar, is going to equal our whole note. So if there are 4 quarters in a whole dollar, how many beats are in a whole note? 4. Because a quarter equals a beat, right?
Yep.
If we break our whole note in half, we get half notes just like our half dollars. This is how our half notes look. We have a note stem, which is the stick part of the note, and then we have the note head, which is the circle part of the note. For our half notes, the note head for our half notes is empty. It's hollow. It's not filled in. Okay? So just like our half dollars that get 2 quarters, our half notes get 2 beats. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay. Then we can break our half notes into quarters. So these are our quarter dollars. That's the same as our quarter notes. Quarter notes have a note stem just like our half notes, except for quarter notes, the note head is filled in. It's solid. Okay? Huh? I'm sorry, I can't hear.
What is that?
What is what? Quarter notes.
Oh.
Yeah, these are our quarter notes. Okay? Just like our quarter dollars, they have 1 quarter each. Our quarter notes get 1 beat each. Okay? So our whole note gets 4 beats. Our half note gets 2 beats each. So we have 2 beats here, 2 beats here.
You get 4 beats.
Okay? Which equals 4 beats, yes. Each of our quarter notes gets 1 beat. So 1 beat here, 2, 3, 4. So if you add all those together, we get 4 beats because each one is worth 1 beat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Give me a thumbs up if you're with me.
Yes.
All your beats.
I'm with you.
Thank you. All right, put your hands down.
I'm with you.
Now, when we count our rhythms, when we chant our rhythms and count our beats, we have to have the same amount of sounds as beats for that note. Okay? So, for example, our whole note has 4 beats. That means when we chant our whole notes, it has to have 4 sounds. So we're going to start it with a ta, and we're going to add ah. 4 beats, 4 sounds. Okay? My turn. It sounds like this. Ta. Ready? Go. Ta. Very good. Our half notes have 2 beats each, so they each get 2 sounds. Ta, ah. Now we have 2 of them, so we're going to have 2 ta, ahs. My turn, don't make noise. Ta, ta. Your turn, go. Ta, ta. Very good. Quarter notes get 1 beat, so they get 1 sound. It's just a plain old ta. Plain old ta. So we have 4 of them. My turn. Ta, 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 ta. Ready? Go. Ta, 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 ta. Now, my question right now is, did you go the same speed or tempo that I did?
Yes.
Did you?
No.
No, you went faster. Make sure you keep your steady beat. My turn. Ta, 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 ta. Your turn. Go. Ta, 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 ta. Very good. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I want to take our music brains and I want to switch over to our math brains. Okay, I know not everybody likes math. I'm not really a math fan. I'm not very good at math, but that's okay. We're going to do it together. Okay?
I don't think I can see.
So, do you remember our quarters equal 1/4 of our whole dollar? So our quarter notes equal 1/4 of our whole note? Yes? So we can also break our quarter notes, our 1/4, in half as well. So I'm going to ask you, how do we divide our 1/4 in half? So we're going to divide it by 2. We're going to split it into 2. So we're going to divide it. Okay? What is 1/4 divided by 2?
Wait, what?
What is 1/4 divided by 2?
Wait, it's like 1, 2. half. One half. One half.
That's 1/4 plus 1/4.
That's 1.5.
You're splitting 1/4.
That's 2/4.
Let's look at it together. So, when we're dividing fractions, if we're dividing it by a whole number, we have to pull that whole number over 1 because we have to turn that whole number into a fraction too, right? Do you remember this from 4th grade? Do you know the answer? Nope, we're in the middle of the lesson. Okay, so when we are working with fractions, we always do the opposite of what it says. Okay, so if we are multiplying a fraction, we're actually going to divide the numbers instead to make them bigger. If we're dividing a fraction, we're going to multiply it instead. Okay, so I'm going to change this division sign to a multiplication sign. And then I'm going to follow my multiplication lines. So here's a line here. That means we're going to multiply 1 times 1. What is 1 times 1? 1. Whoops. Okay. Now I'm going to follow this multiplication line. What is 4 times 2? 8. So if we're dividing 1/4 into 2 different parts, 2 equal parts, we're going to end up with 1/8. Oh. Okay. The reason that we are doing that is because we have 1/8 notes. So we're taking our 1/4, which is our quarter notes, and we're dividing it into 2 smaller notes, which become our 1/8 notes. They're called 1/8 notes because each one is 1/8 of a whole note, which means there's 8 of them in a whole note, okay? And we're going to keep track of them by grouping them into groups of 2.
Oh, I know those signs.
Okay? So there are 8 eighth notes in a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we put them in groups of 2 to make them easier to chant. Okay? So each one of these is a group of 2. Okay? You with me so far? Okay. When we chant these, if we make them all exactly the same, it's really easy to lose count of how many of these we've chanted. Okay? Each one of these gets a T. So if you are counting all of the 8th notes that you have, you end up with 8 T's. All right? And if we make them all the same, my turn, don't make noise. My turn, don't make noise. If we count them all the same, it sounds like this. T, 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 T. Okay. It's really hard to keep track of. So when we group them into 2s, we make the first 8th note of each group a little bit stronger than the second 8th note. So it sounds like this. Don't make noise, my turn. T, 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 T. It's a lot easier to keep track of 4 groups of 2 than it is to keep track of all 8 of the 8th notes. Okay? Listen one more time. My turn. T, 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 T. There's 4 groups. Count it with me. Ready, go. T, 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 T. Very good. You guys count. Okay. So, you will notice that we have 2 8th notes in the same space or the same amount of time. I'm up here. We have 2 8th notes in the same space or the same amount of time as 1 quarter note. That means that our 8th notes have to go twice as fast as our quarter notes. My turn, don't make noise. I'm going to count our ta's, and then I'm going to count our t's. And I want you to be able to listen to the difference between the ta's and the t's. My turn, don't make noise. Ta, 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 ta. T, 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 T. Do you hear how the t's are faster than the ta's? Okay? You are still keeping your steady beat. You're not speeding your steady beat up. It's just that our t's have to be said faster because there's more of them in the same amount of time as a ta. Does this make sense? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what I want to do is I want to start with our whole note, and I want to clap all the way down to our 8th notes. Okay? So my turn. We're gonna say ta, 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 T, 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 T. Make sense?
Yeah.
Do it with me. I'm going to count you off, which means I'm going to give you a 1, 2, ready, go. The speed that I'm giving you a 1, 2, ready, go is the speed that I want you to clap. Don't go faster. Don't go slower. Keep your steady beat that I'm about to give you. You got it? Okay, 1, 2, ready, clap. Ta, 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 ta. T, 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 T. Very good, very good. Okay, one thing I want to fix, and I want us to do it again. One thing I want us to fix, and we're going to do it again. We only clap on the first ta of each of these. So our whole note should sound like this. Ta. Ready, go. Ta. Our eighth note should be ta, ta. Ready, go. Ta, ta. Very good. Now each one of our quarter notes gets a ta, so we clap on each one of them. My turn. Ta, 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 ta. Ready, go. Ta, 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 ta. And then each one of our eighth notes gets a clap as well. My turn, don't make noise. T, 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 T. Your turn, go. T, 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 T. Very good. Oh, we don't have 7. We don't have 9. We have 8. Make sure you count. Okay, try this again from the top with me. I'm not going to clap with you. I'm going to keep our steady beat. Okay? 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, 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 ta. T, 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 T. Round of applause. Okay, stop your clap. I want us to practice counting some rhythms. So let's count some rhythms. Okay. Next thing I want to talk to you about before we count our rhythms is when we are looking at our music on the page, we have a set of 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which creates 4 spaces. Now, ladies, we have names for each of these lines and spaces, but we're not going to get to that today. Okay? This group of lines and spaces is called a staff. Okay? Group of 5 lines and 4 spaces is a staff. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Within our staff, we have these vertical lines called bar lines, and they separate our staff into little boxes. And we call those boxes measures. Measures. So a measure is each box that's created when we add bar lines to our staff. Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we can have different amounts of beats within each of our measures. For example, sometimes we have 2 beats in each measure. Sometimes we have 3 beats in each measure. Sometimes we have 4 beats in each measure. Sometimes we have 12 beats in each measure. Okay? Today we're going to focus on 4. Just 4. So we have 4 beats per measure. That means no matter what kind of notes we have in our measure, their value has to add up to 4. If we have a whole note, then that's the only note we're going to have because that takes up all 4 beats. Okay? If we have a half note, that takes up 2 beats. We can add another half note. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. Or if we have a half note, which is 2 beats, we can add 2 quarter notes because each of them is 1. So 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. No matter what kind of notes, gentlemen, no matter what kind of notes we have in our measure, it all has to add up to 4. Give me a thumbs up if you understand. You're with me. Whatever kind of notes we have, their value has to add up to 4. Their beats have to add up to 4. Yes? Okay, put your hands down. Okay. Now, for our rhythms that we're going to look at today, I'm not going to put them on a staff, but I am going to draw in our bar lines. Okay? So each one of these, the space between each bar line is a measure. Now, I have 2 bar lines here. I have 2 bar lines here. It's called a double bar line. That means it's the end. It's the end of the song or the end of the rhythm. Okay? Double bar line means it's the end. It's the last measure. All right? So I'm going to draw in our notes. All of our notes for each measure have to add up to 4. Okay? Are you with me so far? Here's our notes. We have a different combination, a different pattern of notes that gives us our rhythm. Let's add each of our sounds for this. Our quarter note gets 1 beat, so it gets 1 sound. What sound does it get? Ta. Just 1 ta. Plain old ta. Ta, 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 ta. Okay? That's the end of the first measure. Here's the bar line. It's the end of that measure. Going on to measure 2. In measure 2, we have a half note. It's 2 beats. It gets 2 sounds. Ta, ah. Okay, we have another half note. 2 beats, 2 sounds. Ta, ah. Measure 3. Moving on to the next measure. We have a half note, 2 beats, 2 sounds. Ta, ah. We have a quarter note, 1 beat, 1 sound. Ta. Whole note, measure 4. Whole note, 4 beats, 4 sounds. Ta, ah, ah, ah. Okay, you got it? We're going to clap this together. I'm going to give you a 1, 2, ready, go. Remember that 1, 2, ready, go. Gentlemen,
Be quiet.
that 1, 2, ready, go is the same speed that I want you to clap. Don't speed up. Don't slow down. That's your steady beat. You got it? Okay, get ready to clap. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, 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 ta. Now I want to correct us. I heard claps on all 4 beats of our whole note. We just clap on the ta, we hold on the ahs. Okay? So this last measure should be ta. Got it? Okay? Do this one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, 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 ta. Much better, thank you. I'm going to change our rhythm just a little bit. I need you still, I need you seated, and I need you silent. Are you still? Are you seated? Are you silent?
Yes.
Okay, I've changed just the second and third measure, so the first measure is the same. The fourth measure is the same. We have a quarter note, 1 beat, 1 sound. What is it?
Ta.
Quarter note?
Ta.
Half note?
Ta.
Ta. Quarter note?
Ta.
Quarter note?
Ta.
Eighth notes.
T.
T. T. Very good.
Christian.
You need to move back over here, please, sir. Thank you. Move quickly. Thank you so much. Okay, let's clap this together. I'm going to give you your steady beat. 1, 2, ready, clap. Ta, 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 T, T, ta, ta. Take a look at measure 3. Take a look at measure 3. Remember our eighth notes, there's 2 of them in the same amount of space or the same amount of time as 1 quarter note. So it has to go twice as fast because there's 2 of them. Okay? My turn. Listen, don't make noise. My turn. Ta, ta, T, T, ta. The T's have to go twice as fast. Do just this measure with me. Ready? Go. Ta, ta, T, T, ta. Do it one more time. Ready? Go. Ta, ta, T, T, ta. Very good. Start back at measure 1. 1, 2, ready, clap. Ta, 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 ta. Ta, ta, ta. Ta, ta, T, T, ta. Ta. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. I need mouths off. I need mouths off. We have a few extra minutes left, so we're going to watch some fun recorder videos from YouTube. I need you seated, I need you still, and I need you silent. Do you understand?
Yes.
Still, seated, silent. Please remember that we dismiss in groups. So I'll call group 1, I'll call group 2, I'll call group 3, I'll call group 4. When I call your group, groups 1 and 2, you will line up against the black cabinet starting at the sink. Don't go past our sink. Groups 3 and 4, when I call you, you are going to line up against the wall starting at the llama. Stay behind the chair. Don't go past the llama. Okay? So when we dismiss, I'll call your group, and you'll line up in the appropriate place. Once we're all lined up and quiet and still, line 1 will exit, and line 2 will follow the end of them. Got it?